Hello, viewer. Welcome back to Discovering Myself. This is episode 3, and it is day 31 that I've been on HRT. So, 1 month down. Here we go. Um, guess I just want to go over a few things that have happened since the last time I talked to you guys, and let's start where I left off. I mentioned I was going to go to a med spa for laser hair removal and had my first session and woo, went good. It wasn't bad. It's tolerable, and they said it was the first time's the worst one because you have the most hair that's getting hit with the laser, so it causes the most sting. But yeah, overall, piece of cake. About the only time it really got tricky was the upper lip and right on the edge of that chin bone. Uh, if she loitered with that laser too long, it would get pretty hot, and you start pulling back, and she'd stop because she saw that. But yeah, not bad at all. Not really any worse than getting a tattoo, in my opinion. Um, so and it is going to be every 4 weeks. I have to wait about 3 weeks since getting the laser before you really get the uh, signs of what they did. Like that's when the hair will start to shed out of your skin. It's still, the hair's still working its way, growing out to the surface. So it'll start shedding in about 3 weeks, and then a week after that, I go back for the next hit to hit more of the hairs that are because the way hair cycles go and all that, it all whatever. Uh, but yeah, every 4 weeks, the first three are the ones that are going to wipe out pretty much most of the hair, and then any more sessions after that are more like touch ups to just catch anything that was sort of in between the cycles and stuff like that. That they'll try to clear up anything that's left that they can get. Again, like I think I said last time, they can't get the grays, but um, whatever they can get, they'll get. So yeah, that's going really well. Maybe I don't know, 15 minutes of laser and you're in and out. Piece of cake. Yeah, setup time takes longer. I mean, they use what saves me is they got like this gel they put on your face, like keeps it cool. That helps immensely, I'm sure, versus if they didn't. But yeah, that's going good. Another big event is I think last time I had only come out to one person since I talked to you, and that was my support person. Well, that's now up to 3 and almost 4. So big leap, which is great. Yeah, the next person I decided I was going to come out to is well, there was only when I dipped out for 5 weeks and didn't show up anywhere, and people were wondering what happened to me. Only 2 people actually really wanted to know where I was and reached out. One obviously happened to be my support person. She told her right away. So the other one was a waitress at a diner I normally go to a lot, and decided she was concerned, so I should probably tell her next. And so I got there, and it's so funny when you're going there. It's like, yeah, I'm going to tell her, no big deal. Uh, then you get right up there, and you get that opportunity to say something, and all of a sudden it's like you hit a wall. It's like, yeah, just words come out. And yeah, it took me a while, and I finally spit something out. I think I said, "Do you wonder why I was gone for 5 weeks?" Yeah, and she said, "Oh yeah, what was that about?" And I said, "Well, I'll tell you." And I waited for her to finish whatever she was doing and step over. And I said, "Yeah, I'm actually transitioning." And the reaction was, let's call it neutral. um, she just sort of had this blank stare for a while, and it's like, "Uh-oh, what did I do?" Uh, and to just try to break the silence, I'm like, I'm just telling you because you're like one of 2 people that actually was worried about where I went, and I just thought you should know. And she's like, well, thank you for letting me know. and that was it. And like she went back to work. I was like, okay, that didn't go quite the way I was hoping, but I mean, it could have been worse, right? Eventually, you're gonna have a negative encounter. I mean, you better be expecting that because it will happen somewhere along the line. Somebody's gonna just not be on board with this. So, yeah, look forward to it. I mean, just be ready for it. I mean, don't let it hit you, unexpected. Just know that that will eventually happen. More chances than not, you'll get the neutral response like I got. And, it's probably about 50-50 neutral and positive responses. And my next two were very positive after that. So, yeah, a few days went by and I was thinking, I should probably tell somebody else, and I was feeling more comfortable about it now after having, a positive experience, a neutral experience. I'm like, you know, the world's not ending like I thought it would, when you start telling people like, oh my God, what are you talking about? Uh, your mind always comes up with the worst case scenario. And I'm like, okay, this is working out. We can do this. We're going to have to tell people anyhow. Like, eventually, everybody's going to find out eventually. So, may as well start working through them. And so I decided to tell this other person. And it was another person at the diner. It was like a co-owner or a real family member of the diner this time. And, we were talking about other changes that had occurred while I was gone. And I said, yeah, man, it's crazy. You had a lot of stuff going on yourself, didn't you? And I was like, funny enough, I had some changes too. And she's like, oh, really? And it's like, yeah. And I was trying to figure out how to just sort of break it from there. I said, have you ever known somebody for a really long time and then they just sort of bring something completely out of left field that you didn't see coming? Yeah, that's me today. And she's like, uh-oh, okay, what's up? And I said, yeah, I'm transitioning. And, it caught her off guard too. There was like a second pause and then she's like, oh my God, really? Like, and then she was totally cool about it. She was asking all kinds of questions, which is awesome. I love that. I'm happy to answer questions. It just takes all the awkwardness out of it. Like they know, they don't have to guess at anything. Like, right away, he's like, "Are you gay?" He's like, "No." What made you think this was the case? Just all sorts of things. Like she really prodded at me, which was great. And like even I'll answer anything, even the ones that are embarrassing. Like admitting I've cross dressed to her and stuff like that. That's a pretty embarrassing thing to have to answer. But you know what? And guess what? The world didn't end. She just accepted it. Simple as that. And she was really cool about it. She even gave me a hug. So, yeah, that worked out really good. Funny enough, the next person just happened to be a waitress there. And the only reason that happened was I was pretty sure she overheard some of the conversation we were having when we were talking. Because, like, this is the time where now she was asking me questions and I was answering questions. And this waitress was sort of nearby. And I was like, I didn't want to do a real awkward, quiet pause in the conversation while she was nearby because that would look really weird too. So I just kept talking and I didn't know if she was listening or not. Well, a couple days later, she was my, she was serving me, next time I was in there. And I just asked her, I said, did you overhear any of that conversation that I had the other day? And she's like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I said, well, how you know? She's like, I didn't know what to say. Like, I wasn't sure. So I was just staying quiet. I was like, nah, it's cool. It's cool. Everybody's got to find out eventually. And she says, I've been dying to tell you how great your hair looks. So like, I'll get to that later here. But I was like, wow, somebody noticed that. You got to be kidding me. So yeah, I mean, another absolutely out of the park response. She asked all kinds of questions too and stuff like that. So really rolling along pretty good. Now there was one more. I'm halfway there. This is a friend I've had for a long time, but he's the type person like the neighbor I mentioned before. he's pretty opinionated on how he feels about trans and gays and all that. He's, he makes his comments, and I just let him say it. I don't, okay, that's your opinion. You have a right to one. But we've been through a lot. I've known him for years. It was probably, I think I ran into him in 2005, if I remember right. I've helped him build his house. He had some hard times when his wife passed away. I was there for him for that. So, we've been around each other for a long time. We chat all the time on the phone. Well, he did call uh, here just recently, and we were just catching up like we always do. Um, and of course, probably the last time I talked to him it was definitely before I started really HRT or anything. Heck, I wasn't even going to the gym yet at that point. But yeah, like the conversation is, hey, what have you been up to? It's like, oh, I've changed a lot of things, and I wasn't going to mention anything about the transitioning yet, but I just mentioned how, oh yeah, I'm going to the gym 3 times a week now. I'm on this diet that I really watch my weight. I got my weight down at 148 and holding it there. I gave up the alcohol. I gave up the caffeine, and it's funny. I think he was already on this, like, wow, that's a lot of changes all of a sudden, what's going on type thing in his head. He wasn't really letting on to it yet, but he made a comment, and it actually caused me to hesitate for a second. Because he said, boy, you going to the gym all the time like that, them ladies are going to be hanging all over you. And I hesitated because I thought to myself, oh yeah, I wonder how that's going to work out in, say, a year and a half. That's what's going through my head. And he caught that hesitation, so now he knows something's up. And he's very observant that way. Yeah, he catches the littlest things. So now he's got two in the bin there of, okay, big life changes. He acted a little weird when I made that comment. He's probably starting to put it all together. And the conversation kept moving around a little bit, and at some point he said something where I finally was like, well, yeah, I haven't told you everything yet. And it's like, aha. And I said, I'm just not quite there, ready to let you know what it is. So now he's got 3, and he's almost certainly thinking, okay, he's about to admit he's gay, because I mean that's the first thing your mind goes to when somebody's saying, oh, I'm not saying everything, but you know that's what I'm not ready to talk about or whatever. That's typically what the first thing you're going to think, especially with the women comment. I'm sure that was like the automatic, oh, okay, yeah, he's not into women. It's probably what he's thinking. So we're almost there. He sort of pushed me, and I almost told him, and then he was really cool about it. He saw that I was hesitating again, and he's like, no, never mind. You said you're not ready. We'll talk about it when you are. And then here's the kicker with that, and it's going to hit me right now. He said to me, dude, whatever it is, it don't matter. We've been best buds for a long time. And when you're ready, I'm ready. And I didn't expect him to say that. I was expecting him not to be happy. It's just like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why would you do that? And that was hard. That was hard. As you can see, it's still hard. I wasn't ready for that at all. I was ready for the fight, and he hit me out of left field completely unexpected. So yeah, the call ended, and I needed about 10 minutes after that to calm down. And yeah, it was That was a big one. That was a big one for me. That really, really struck hard. But yeah, we're almost there. Well, next call, I'm pretty much just gonna be like, yeah, let's just talk about the elephant in the room here because that cat is halfway out of the bag. So yeah, that'll be a conversation, and I'm sure I'll be breaking down when we talk about it again. But uh, and some of this emotions thing, we'll get to that too. I'm pretty sure some of the effects of HRT are starting to cause more of that here too, but I'll get to that later here in the conversation. But let's get back to that hair comment. Uh, I was gonna cut my hair because it's gonna be 6 months, 9 months out before things really start showing where it's gonna be obvious. And I'm like, I don't, I can cut it right now. And then I got to thinking, it's going to take so long to grow as is. I'm not going to cut it. I decided, all right, we're not going to cut it. We're just going to let it go, see what happens. And um, obviously, my crap shampoo, Pert Plus, that I used for many, many years wasn't going to cut it anymore. It's sacrilege to even use that stuff. So I changed to a good shampoo, a good conditioner, and I'm doing that now. And like right away, that other waitress, she's like, I noticed right away your hair looks so much shinier and all that. I was like, oh wow, okay, that's surprising. And it gets these weird, crazy, natural wavy curls things going when it grows too. So that's like, I think she thought I styled it. Sometimes it all like depends on humidity and all that. It's like how bad they get. Sometimes they get pretty wild. And I think she thought I actually had it styled already. It's like, no, that's just natural way it comes out when I grow it out this way. I haven't had long hair since I was in my teens. So we're going back to that. And it's probably about as long as it's ever was. So anything longer now is going to be, uncharted waters, letting it grow out. Um, the other thing, I do got a little thin spot up top. I actually started Rogaine for that too. I want to try to take care of that. While I'm in the middle of starting all these processes of laser and HRT and everything, why not start the Rogaine too and try to thicken that up? Perfect candidate for it. They said, you know, it's just thin hair. It's not balding, so it's going to come back really good. It's going to respond well. It's in the exact right spot for the best results. So, woohoo! Be nice to get that growing. My higher line here is short, but as it grows out, I'll be able to deal with that. Um, don't think I want to do plugs. I don't. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I heard it's really expensive to do them anyhow. The Rogaine's cheap. I had no idea how cheap that was. I was like, oh, it's like $200 for an entire year. It's like, no problem. I could do that. Um, let's see. Last time I talked about skin, I said it was just my wrists that had softened up. That has gone everywhere. It's amazing. Like, so I'm pretty sure it's not just the collagen. I think the collagen is basically like the fuel helping, but it's got to be the HRT now doing it. Like the skin has really changed. It's pretty crazy. That's really the first sign that HRT is starting to work, and which is about right. About here I am a month in. It's about the first mild sign you're going to get. Really, you won't see much more until like 3 months in. So that's kind of neat, though. It's like, wow, that really changed. I dealing with hair and stuff like that. I was using an epilator. Well, first, I mean, early on, I was trying shaving it. And that sucks. I mean, it's like you shave it, and within a day or two, you feel it again. It's like, oh, great, now I got sandpaper. So I was epilating, and that seemed to work pretty good, but it's pretty painful. It's kind of slow. Now I'm trying IPL, which is intense pulse light. It's very similar to laser in the way it works, but you can do it at home. You can buy one. You can do it at home, but it takes longer. It's like you want to do it once a week for like 12 weeks or something like that to really get it. But the results are supposed to be like last, 2 years, up to 2 years, depending on situations. But even if it was, say, 6 months, or you just got to do, maintenance once a month or something, super easy, doesn't take long, maybe I probably, did my legs, arms, stomach, chest, and armpits. Definitely worth it for the armpits. Using a freaking epilator on armpits is the worst thing ever. Uh, um, but yeah, 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops, go over and it don't really hurt, it's a very little, just very little, I don't even like just lightly getting touched by a pin, maybe, it's not bad at all. It's easy. It never hurt when you're using the IPL. It's not painful. You can smell the hair. Like you would think, is it really doing anything? Oh no, you smell the burning hair. It does it. It's definitely doing something. Um, so that'll be cool. If I can get that all under control easy, then I don't even need to go to the laser place to have more body hair done. I can just handle it on my own. That's easy peasy, cheaper. I think crepe. I don't even know what I paid for. I think I paid $200 for that unit, and it'll probably last years and years. So cheap, cheap, cheap. Let's see what else I got here. I guess yeah, I didn't really talk about just well, I did want to cover it with the emotions and stuff like that. Again, I'm feeling real good, calm. I feel like I have a good game plan now, so I'm very, very at ease, which is nice. Um, uh, a funny things has happened where right now I don't feel as compelled to put on women's clothes right now, and I think it's just a case of my mind is like just okay, no big deal. When you are further in your transition, you'll be more ready for it then. And I don't know if it was just a case that strong desire to wear the women's clothing was sort of a signal to myself saying, hey, pay attention to me. And now that I'm paying attention, it's not, that signal is quieted down. I don't know. I mean, still good either way. Don't matter to me. But it was, it was just an interesting change, I noticed. Um, I noticed I'm more. I use the word moody, but the correct term would be more amplified. The emotions. I tend to be happier than I think I was in the past, which would make sense. Hey, you're doing something you want to do. You're more happy. Okay, but I also noticed I can get more irked easier. And it's like so I think the emotions have elevated or amplified up a little bit all across the board. So they said it would happen, and I reflecting on it, it does seem that would be the case. Like it's like nothing. It's not like I'm holding a grudge for hours on end or anything like that. But just certain things like will irk me further. Or just thinking back, talking about Steve, that welled up an emotion pretty easy that I probably could have otherwise probably contained that a little better. So yeah, it does seem like the volume knob on the emotion side is getting turned up a little bit. So they said it would happen. Here we are. So yeah, that's about it for right now. Got just just been going to the therapist every 2 weeks. And now it's just the laser appointments that are going to come up, and the rest of it is just wait it out, see where we go. And I don't know what the next video will be on or how long it'll be before something interesting happens. I guess at the very least you'll see my hair growing here, and probably explain that I've talked to more people the next time and stuff like that. And who knows what else there may be. I do want to think about laser eye surgery someday and get rid of these. I would not mind getting rid of these, maybe, just having reading glasses, but I think that would be a big key to uh, looking a little more like I want to look. So that could be in the future here too. I'm still deciding. All right, I think that's it for today. I appreciate you guys watching. And again, leave a comment if you got any questions at all. I'm not embarrassed to answer anything. Have a good one.